Ladies and gentlemen, live from the West Coast, it's time for Ring Talk Live Worldwide.
Hey, yo.
For over 30 years, and still, your inside look into boxing and mixed martial arts.
You know what? As long as she fights at 135 pounds, I don't care if she's injecting a horse demon into her eyeballs.
Heard live around the world and brought to you by the World Boxing Organization. And now, live from the Ring Talk Studios in San Francisco, here's the host of the longest-running fight show in history, Pedro Fernandez.
Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the multi-million-dollar Sports Byline Studios in the City by the Bay, San Francisco, California. Check it. The man was correct, as my name is Pedro Fernandez, often imitated but hardly duplicated. Now, 35-plus years now, your undisputed heavyweight champion of the radio area. Speaking of heavyweight champions, I got a bunch of them today, baby. I'm talking about Larry Merchant, the Godfather of the Beer, of course, talking about Canelo Alvarez and Danny Jacobs. Not an eventful 12 rounds, but basically, Canelo had a dog on a leash, and he walked him around for a while, and for the most part, he won 8 or 9 rounds. At the end of the night, it was a good payday for Canelo Alvarez, and it probably went according to what many of the experts said. As for Mr. Jacobs, what can I say? He didn't fight hard enough. You got to fight harder. If you're going after somebody, especially somebody that's, better than you, you've got to make commitments. You've got to make gambles. And that's what differs the good fighters from the great fighters. Mr. Jacobs is not a great fighter. He's a good fighter. A great fighter would have tried to adapt, would have tried to change, would have tried to done something different in order to come away with a victory. That wasn't in Danny Jacobs' M.O. Straight up, we have open phone lines all around the planet. 1-800-878-7529. That's 1-800-878-7529. Or the guilt-free, no-commitment text line. Man, some lady sent me a hot picture on this one, but I don't need the hot pictures. You can send me a text. Straight up, 415-275-1613. That's right. One of the studio text line, once again, 415-275-1613. Lots of things to talk about in the world of MMA and boxing. Of course, we'll hear it from Tommy Chong, and we'll have a tribute to the great Roy Jones Jr., 1988 Olympic silver medalist. Man, Ray Leonard almost signed him for $1 million after the Olympic trials. We'll talk about that in depth with a tribute to Roy Jones Jr. tonight. You are tuned to Ring Talk, live worldwide on Sports Byline, iHeartRadio, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, the Dan Patrick Channel, Channel 211, and about 1,000 other platforms. Bottom line is, you're tuned to Ring Talk, and you know it.
Waiting on you, oh baby, to see things my way, but not a word do you say.
Remember in the beginning, when you first started to build a life for you and your family, you never imagined it would come to this. Instead of living your dreams, you're living with debt. In fact, it's smothering you. Now there's a way you can take back control with one simple call. If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you qualify to receive a free, no-obligation consultation on how to get rid of that debt for good. Call the Debt Helpline now. We work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. One simple call is all it takes to get the ball rolling to a debt-free life. Stop living with debt and start living your dreams. Call the Debt Helpline now.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. That's 800-957-6063.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the Tax Helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. That's 800-932-1749.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Here comes the decision now. Let's listen.
Clarity in the world of professional boxing is spelled WBO. That's right, the World Boxing Organization is boxing's only transparent sanctioned body. You can follow the WBO on Facebook or check out their website, WBOboxing.com. That's WBOboxing.com. The World Boxing Organization.
Has done it. We have a new heavyweight champion of the world.
Now, more Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
12 minutes past the hour. This is hour number 1 of 2 of Ring Talk Live Worldwide. My name is Pedro Fernandez. We take it to Las Vegas, Sin City, baby, and bring in Johnny Sid, talking about Johnny Signorella. And John, 12 rounds of boxing last night. No controversy at the end of those 12 rounds.
I agree. Pretty uneventful. Canelo, for the most part, started off really good, showing good movement, upper body movement in particular. Landed a nice jab, some body attack, things that we're familiar seeing from him lately. But I tell you what, down the stretch, Canelo looked like he was gassing to me, running out of some gas. And for Danny Jacobs to be backed up all night long and seeing a guy that eventually down the stretch in Canelo that was gassing, to not use his size advantage in those opportunities, those moments where towards the end of the fight it seemed like Canelo was fading. Danny Jacobs, what was the game plan last night, and how come you did not use your physicality against a seemingly smaller man? So, at the end of the day, not a great main event. The undercard, although on paper didn't look great, fleshed out to be a lot of fun. Virgil Ortiz, I felt, stole the show with a knockout over Mauricio Herrera, who's never been stopped before at 147 pounds.
Danny Jacobs just isn't as brave as the people from Brooklyn would like to believe. You know what I'm talking about?
I got to give him all the street cred in the world for beating cancer. The doctors told him he would never walk again. To walk into that ring last night must have been one hell of an accomplishment for him. All the accolades in the world. Boxing now, talking boxing here. I got to say, man, he didn't show up last night, really. He landed one good punch on Canelo, and Canelo just ate it. What a chin on Canelo, by the way. But that's the whole thing. It was uneventful. There really wasn't a moment in that fight where you felt like you were watching something that was like definitive or something that was exciting and something was landing that was crucial.
Okay, so what you're trying to say is there isn't one part of this fight will end up on any highlight reel.
Oh, absolutely not. Canelo dodging a bunch of punches. He looked like a Jedi out there in the early stages, but that's what I'm saying is that he uses a lot of energy in dodging those punches, and I think it gasses him down the stretch.
But it didn't cost him on the scorecards. Of course, the winner of unanimous nod across the board, and Danny Jacobs loses for the third time. Jacobs fought sporadically, and when I say sporadically, I mean real sporadically. At the end of the night, though, it probably went as most people thought. It was a 4.5 to 1 fight as far as the odds were concerned. If you wanted to bet on Canelo, you had to put up $450 to win 100. That's a lot of money. And the other way around, think about this: Ali and Sonny Liston the first time was only a 5 to 1 fight. So this being a 4.5 to 1 fight sort of signifies the difference. At least the odds makers had on this fight. Now, who stole the show? Who'd you say? Mr. Ortiz stole the show on the undercard?
Virgil Ortiz, who's now 13-0 with 13 knockouts, took out Mauricio Herrera at 147 pounds. We know Beto Herrera for giving Danny Garcia hell, and a lot of other fighters fit. The guy in 8 losses in Herrera, never been stopped. Ortiz got it done in 3 rounds. And I tell you what, on ESPN in California, Arthur Beterbiev, another guy that is 14-0 with 14 KOs, perfect with one heck of a knockout streak, just like the aforementioned Virgil Ortiz, took out Radi Kalatisek in 5 rounds at 175 pounds over in California. I tell you what, outside of the main event on the zone last night, all my boxing was highly entertaining for me. Everybody got knocked the F out.
You're tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Of course, the prospects that have been coming up on the tube of late, Teofimo Lopez, Regis Prograis, and the young man last night, Mr. Ortiz. This is good for boxing. Boxing's headed in a good direction right now.
Oh, I agree. Well, we saw with Prograis last week, and other guys that are out there, as you mentioned, Teofimo Lopez.
Yikes.
We got Usyk coming to heavyweight. Pedro, boxing is fire right now. And we got a nice schedule forthcoming. We got Miguel Burchell and Francisco Vargas in a rematch next week. Don't forget Manny Navarrete versus Isaac Dogbay Part 2 from the slaughter that Navarrete put on Dogbay last year. And just looking ahead, we got Inoue coming up. Man, it's just a great time to be a boxing fan.
I want to say there's somebody really connected in boxing, and Isaac Dogbo is one of their favorite fighters, and they were like crying in the fact he lost and this and that. And they're really, as I said, they're really connected in boxing. They go, we think he's going to do real well in the rematch. Well, he couldn't do much worse. He couldn't do much worse in the rematch he did the first time around. Basically, that young man came to fight, took him to school, did some showboating on him, put a little Mexican Pernell Whitaker on him at times.
Yes, he did. I tell you what, man, like Isaac Dogbay, he's a gentleman. I could see why someone would be heartbroken. He's a class act. And like you said right there, Navarrete came in to win that fight. I got to ask everyone this. Is Dogbay coming back for this rematch too soon? Guys, that was a violent beating, and to have him follow up his next fight in a sequel to that violent beating that Navarrete put on him, if I'm Navarrete, who barely took off a round in that last fight, boy, I'm coming in super confident this time going around.
Well, it sort of harkens back maybe to not as devastating a beating, but Castillo and Diego Corrales, of course, them rushing Diego back into that ring like 9 weeks later into a training camp after the beating, and of course fighting 3 months later. Straight up, Johnny Sig returns in hour number 2. Johnny, we'll talk real soon. We go from Las Vegas to Santa Monica, California, where the sun's always shining for my friend. Of course, talking about the great Larry Merchant. How are you today, sir?
I'm good, Pedro.
Okay.
Watched the fight last night. Been musing about it, reading about it, etc. What's your take?
It was what it was. I mean, and if you looked at the odds was 4.5 to 1, and when you range upsets in boxing history, I mean, I think that Sonny Liston was only a 5 to 1 favorite over Cassius Clay. Then the Cassius Clay in the first fight. So the odds were pretty long. It sort of went. I guess Canelo won. I mean, that was expected to be. This is his first fight, an 11-fight deal with the Zone, totaling $375 million. And Danny Jacobs was a bigger man last night. But here's what I thought. I thought if he really wanted it, he would have went after it. And great fighters gamble and go for it. He never went for it.
Well, it's hard to change a leopard's spot, as they used to say. He achieved his stature in boxing by being a very big middleweight and a very good boxer. We saw that against Golovkin when he surprised everybody by how well he fought. So coming into this fight, I think the odds were high in part, maybe in large part, because there were going to be so many Canelo fans in Las Vegas. They dominated the live attendance, and that means the odds were driven up. The odds probably should have been 2.5 or 3 to 1, but given all that, the fight went almost exactly as most experts I have read and heard thought it would go. Neither one is the type that's going to take high risks. But I think we saw Canelo against a bigger man and a good boxer, showing that his quickness and his discipline, his ability to take a punch when a few of them landed, make him the number 1 middleweight in the world.
Without a doubt, and props to him for that. But how can I put this? At the end of the day, though, like Ray Leonard said, it's the good guys gamble to become great. he didn't want to gamble last night. I mean, he was in front of his Brooklyn people. I mean, he was New York City. History was there to be set. And I just don't think he brought forth the effort. I know you can't change a leopard's stripes, or a leopard's dots and a tiger's stripes, but, you know, I guess my pride keeps coming into this. You hear what I'm saying, Godfather?
I agree with you. I think his corner wanted to keep him from taking big risks because Canelo had shown during the fight that he was quicker, that inside his hands were stronger, and they didn't want him to take that kind of risk. They thought it was a closer fight than it was, and it came out to be a pretty close fight on the scorecards. So, you know, so be it. They're all of one mind. I thought that, you know, from the beginning, I thought Canelo was a little too quick for the bigger, maybe stronger guy. I wasn't disappointed in Canelo's performance at all. He's just confirmed who he is. I thought the fight was basically about a 8 to 4 rounds fight. Maybe the judges bent over backwards to be kind to Jacob, so they shouldn't be accused of favoring Canelo anymore.
I had 8 to 4, and that wasn't a difficult 8-4. Some people thought the kid that stole the show was this prospect Virgil Ortiz, and I say Virgil with an E, Vergil. Ortiz, 13-0, 13 KOs. We'll talk about that after the break. The Godfather, Larry Merchant's house, folks. We're blessed with the Hall of Famer. Open phone lines around the planet, 1-800-878-PLAY. That's 1-800-878-7529. Or that guilt-free, no-commitment text line. The text number, studio text line, 415-275-1613. The studio text line, once again, 415-275-1613. You're tuned to Ring Talk live worldwide.
It's something else to watch two men at the highest level battle, and one may be favored over the other, but you never know what's going to happen. And that's why boxing is the way it is.
Baby, I got that feeling,
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Being a new parent means every high and low you can imagine. But Evos can make it all easier with a baby monitor you can trust. Go to myevos.com. That's MYEVOZ.com to see how Evos can be the eyes and ears of your nursery. Evos works with your smartphone to provide a live audio and HD video connection to your baby anytime and anywhere. On a date, at work, away on business, even serving your country overseas, Evos helps you never miss a moment. Whether your baby is with a sitter, your partner, a grandparent, or a friend, you'll be right there too. And with unique features like smart alerts that know the difference between a barking dog and your baby crying, extensive sleep tracking data, and state-of-the-art security features for your peace of mind, Evos is the smart baby monitor for connected parents. And enter the code SPORTS at checkout for $20 off. That's myevos.com. MYEVOZ.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothethe.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
You ask me how well that he fight, I don't know, but I can tell you one thing, he punch good.
Darkest of night with the moon shining bright. There's a step going strong, a lot of things going on. The man of the hour has an air of great power. The dudes have envied him for so long. Oh, super fly.
27 minutes past the hour. Remember what my mother said, it's not bragging when you're telling the truth. I'm looking at the clock here. In fact, a couple of texts coming in here. Larry Merchant, of course, on the line from Southern California. And Larry, somebody said to me, run the HBO numbers by him. Okay, I'm going to run the HBO numbers by you. According to stats, HBO televised 1,111 bouts. Wow. 23 featured Barnard Hopkins, 17 featured Mike Tyson, 24 featured Manny Pacquiao, 27 featured Floyd Mayweather. Wow, a lot of stars there. But then Mayweather wasn't there at the end. When did Mayweather jump from HBO, Larry? About 2006, 2005?
Well, I think it happened for the Pacquiao fight. I was relieved, actually, that Mayweather signed a deal to fight Pacquiao. I guess it was on Showtime, about several months after I retired, so that nobody could blame me for him jumping ship to Showtime.
Of course, you had a tumultuous relationship with Mr. Mayweather. Is that a nice way to put it?
I think it's fair, but I think a lot of journalists did. We just didn't see it all on television, mainly because they often questioned his brilliant selection of opponents. And he didn't like that. But it worked out all right for him. He enjoyed and helped to define and use his status as a villain to make enormous amounts of money.
Yeah. In one of his early fights, I'll never forget, he was at a press conference, he said to me, you know, this guy's the greatest writer of all time. He used to write for Flash and Boxing Update magazine. Pedro, the greatest writer of all time. Then about 20 minutes later, I asked him a pointed question. He goes, man, you don't know spit about boxing. And he didn't say spit, he said spit with an H. So that's the way Mayweather turns on you.
Well, he's very smart about the ways of boxing. I think he was a really outstanding lightweight, one of the best. And when he moved up in weight, he decided he was going to fight as many risk-free fights as he could and in a risk-free style as he could. And he did his fighting with his mouth and his personality and his character.
Good point. Larry, I mentioned before the break this Virgil Ortiz Jr., now 13-0, 13 wax. It looks like he's fighting at welterweight. Of course, a couple weeks ago we had Teofimo Lopez, and last week Regis Progress. Boxing's headed in the right direction. Got three colorful guys. I mean, three Camacho-like personalities, maybe. Not Camacho without the cocaine.
Well, look, boxing is in a healthy place right now with the new platforms and with welterweight, middleweight, and heavyweight divisions having so many prize fighters we want to see. Hopefully we'll see them, and more hopefully we'll see them fight each other.
You know, Danny Jacobs weighed 173 pounds after the weigh-in. Evidently, he had to weigh like under 170 pounds. So they charged him $750,000. Do you think we should be measuring people after weigh-ins, or should we just say that's it? In other words, there should be a cutoff point where you just say enough is enough. We're getting a little too technical here.
Actually, I like it, and I like it for this reason. You know, fighters like Jacobs use that as an advantage in the ring. And if they can't make weight, honestly, then they should be moving up a division, which, incidentally, his promoter, Eddie Hearn, suggested after the fight. He certainly is as big as any super middleweight we've seen, and he would make good fights at that weight. Yeah, but like everybody else, from the welterweight division up to the light heavyweight division, they want to fight the greatest box office attraction, and there is. He still made roughly $10 million. Wow. Hopkins for the fight last night.
No, Hopkins, yeah, okay.
But if he takes care of it, that'll take care of him. And that's where everybody else is aiming to go and making their matches, hoping to get there, and so on and so forth. So I'm interested to see how that plays out in Canelo's next fight.
You know, but if Jacobs is lacking grit and muscle and determination and will at 160, what's 168 going to be? And those are bigger guys. He's going to be even more cautious, a little bit more less entertaining. Let's switch gears just for a second.
Well, you're right.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Gennady Golovkin is named Jonathan Banks as his trainer. I think Jonathan Banks had a couple of guys. Jonathan Banks was probably one of the last fighters, I think, that from the Kronk gym that Emmanuel Stewart trained. We talked about this blaming trainers before. That's what you sort of do. You have to blame a trainer and you move on, correct?
I don't know in Golovkin's case. Of course, he's had three fights in a row, one with Jacobs and two with Canelo, where he wasn't dominant the way he had been in his previous 30 or 40 fights, and especially his previous 20, which were all knockouts. I don't know if it's aimed maybe to help him be a little bit more aggressive. We have to remember that he backed off of Canelo also. Canelo must be doing something right. Mm-hmm. But maybe he thinks psychologically as well as physically, a change can do him some good. We've seen this movie before any number of times. But also I've read that it has to do with money. And frequently the more money fighters make, the more they regret all the money they're giving to people around them. And this may be one of those cases where he saved himself $500,000 or so.
You know, but save himself. If it's all about the money, then more power to him. I mean, that's a financial decision. But you know, he's trying to say that he needs a new team, he needs a new direction. But at his age, and Godfather, the guy had like I think 300 amateur fights. It's about time to stick a fork in him. You know what I'm trying to say? So when he got old in the last couple of fights, like the Jacobs fight, he started to look a little aged and things like that. The writing was on the wall. Last night was his crescendo and his zenith, and there's a good chance, I know he won't go out right now, but that's going to be it for Danny Jacobs, I think. I don't think Danny Jacobs is going to be starring in too many more bouts.
I would say the chances are you're right. It depends on who he fights. He can. I mean, I don't know if there's any other pay-per-view fights. Although I think he may have a deal with DAZN.
He does have a deal.
So he'll be in some. He can make some good money if he's still highly motivated to fight the guys out there. And there are a number of British fighters in the super middleweight division, I believe, and that can be a money-making proposition because British fans buy a lot of pay-per-view and so on. So he had his big shot. He lost. He's 32 years old. He's made enough money to retire on, presumably. It will be interesting to see what he does moving ahead.
Good point. Godfather, say hello to the Godmother. Have a great Sunday. I love you. We'll talk soon.
You got it, Pedro. Thanks.
The great Larry Merchant on Sports Byline.
Say, you got to have a mother for me. Yeah. Come on. Look here.
Taming the briar patch, mowing the lawn, trimming the Yeti. Whatever you call it, it's about time we talk about manscaping. Guys, you manscape, right? You know, keep things trimmed and fresh below the waist. 9 out of 10 women of all ages prefer their guy manscaped. But you gotta have the right tools for the jewels, or you'll look like you used a machete. Pop over to manscaped.com and check out their perfect package. Not that perfect package. The Manscaped Perfect Package 2.0 that was a smash hit on Shark Tank. It features the lawnmower, a precision trimmer engineered for below-the-waist grooming. Its skin-safe technology means no more accidental nicks and burns. Check out the lawnmower and the amazing grooming and hygiene products that come with your perfect package. What's that saying? Trim the shrubs and the tree stands taller? Get 20% off plus free shipping today. Visit manscaped.com and use promo code RING. Again, use promo code RING at manscaped.com. Manscaped.com.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number, 800-603-0885, 800-603-0885, 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip, or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
I think that the Affordable Care Act, as long as it wasn't named the Obamacare, it would pass. They made the test already, but the fact of the matter is, at the essence of it all, is people need health care.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
The great one, of course, the wire-haired wonder himself, Don King, talking about health care, the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, I call which one, but so his buddy Donald Trump. I mean, Donald King has got his butt up so far, his head up so far up. Donald Trump's butt, he can see his colon. It's terrible. I talked to him on the phone. All he wants to talk about is Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. I said, Don, conversation's getting boring. Bottom line is this switch from Don King to one of the ring greats. No doubt about that. 66 wins, 9 losses, stopped 5 times, 47 KOs. We're talking about Roy Jones Jr., of course, out of Pensacola, Florida. Wow, was he the hot guy in the 1988 Olympics? Of course, he won the silver medal. But going in, I told you how Ray Leonard had $1 million in a courier, was ready to bring Ray $1 million for him to sign Roy Jones Jr. in Concord, California at the site of the Olympic trials in 1988. Something spooked Roy or spooked Ray. It didn't happen. Ray said it was Roy's chin. Of course, Roy didn't get his chin tested for a long time, and then he was knocked out eventually. And, of course, his chin didn't turn out to be all that well, but it was his reflexes that kept him out of the way of those punches, of course, that did him so much success. But 66-9, 47 KOs, Roy Jones Jr. This is our tribute to the great Roy Jones.
Hardest hustle anything is boxing, though. I don't know what you do for a living, but pretty sure ain't nobody punching you all in your eye. I watched one fight. Roy Jones got hit so hard, my TV moved. He was asleep like he got knocked out of the club. The ref was like 241, 242. Roy was snoring. He was really knocked out. He was laying there so long, they had to start another fight. Roy was still there. Fighters had to dance around Roy.
Nobody tells it like it was. Of course, like Earthquake. That was an HBO special talking about Roy Jones Jr. But Roy, of course, retired last year in February of 2018. Says he's called it finally a career. But, you know, if ever was a guy that sort of made a lot of mistakes, I mean, he just did. He made a lot of errors. Yeah, he was a great fighter, had a great record. I mean, won championships in many divisions. But the mistakes that he made was like when he was middleweight champion, take that back, when he was light heavyweight title holder, Dariusz Michalewski was the WBO title holder. He had all kinds of records over there in Europe and Poland and things like that. And he was selling like 40,000 tickets, okay? And Roy wasn't selling tickets for nothing. Roy wasn't a big ticket seller. Roy could sell tickets maybe at home, 8 to 10,000 seats, maybe. For the most part, Roy wasn't a big draw. Roy was a television draw. Roy wasn't a live draw. Of course, his knockouts of Virgil Hill with the body shot. I was there in that first row. Wow, what a knockout that was on the Foreman Stewart undercard back in the 80s. I mean, wow, he's just a spectacular athlete, no doubt about it. But Roy Jones Jr. should have known when to walk away, man. He just wouldn't walk away. Classic example of a guy that just doesn't want to give it up. Now, who's my guy that doesn't want to give it up right now? I'm talking about Luis Ortiz. I'm talking about the United heavyweight, man. This guy won't walk away. Had a steroid bust, not once but twice, I think, but thrice. But he's been popped for steroids. He wants to come back. He says that he's 38, 39 years old, according to his birth certificate. But I got to tell you, all the guys from Cuba that I've came in contact with either drank or lied, one or the other. So if he doesn't lie, he drinks. And I'm sorry to put it to you like that, but it sounds like a stereotype. But I was working with these guys down in Florida, and Dio Belli Furtado was one of them. Of course, he challenged Kashadu for the World Junior Welterweight Championship. But I was working with this team, and I went down there. I was their running coach, and I was how to get them up in the morning and get the van going and, take them and watch the run. And the trainer, maybe a trainer would come along once in a while, but for the most part, it was me and them running. Well, I used to smell booze on these guys. And, booze on fighters isn't cool, especially like at 5 o'clock in the morning. Man, why am I smelling alcohol on you like it's coming out of your pores at 5 in the morning? Of course, Dio Belli's had a little bit of a drinking issue, and that came to light. Of course, that probably had a lot to do with his not making it as far as the championship level was concerned. But then again, he was taking on Kashadu, a guy that's very underrated, 140 pounds as far as all-time greats are concerned. In fact, 140 pounds, somebody asked me the other day, who was the best fighter ever at 140? He didn't fight at 140. His name was Roberto Duran. He didn't fight at 140. He just skipped from 135 to 147. And why did Duran do that? Because at 140, listen, the WBA had their own little champion down there in South America, and they didn't want him getting drilled. And of course, Roberto Duran was such a monster that they made a deal with him. Will you go to 147, please? And then Duran went to 147. Of course, when he fought not for the WBA title, but the WBC title against, of course, Sugar Ray Leonard, June 20th, 1980, the Brawl in Montreal, 15-round fight. If you ever want to watch a fight on YouTube, this is probably the one you want to dig up. This is the one that's just two absolute champions at their peak, back and forth, not one to give an inch either way, but two guys just going toe-for-toe and toe-to-toe, and for the most part, Duran outboxed him. And that's funny, outboxing Sugar Ray Leonard. That's right, this little guy And when I say little guy, he's a lightweight. He's a guy that started out at 122 pounds. Ray Leonard started out at 147 pounds, of course, having fought at 139 pounds in the Olympics. People don't know that. Ray was a junior welterweight in the Olympics, and I was a junior welterweight in the Golden Gloves. And I got news for you. Man, yeah, Ray Leonard would kill me. I mean, good Lord, to even think we box in the same weight class is scary. It's just absolutely frightening. But, of course, the guy in my era, my year in 1984, was Jerry Page. And I was a little bit surprised that he won the gold medal. I thought that Zach Padilla was the best junior welterweight at the time. Of course, he went on to win the IBF or WBO junior welterweight title as a pro. He retired from an injury, but Zach was the man. And I saw Zach in a film, and I'm not afraid to say this, but I ran from Zach. I mean, Zach, if you put me and Zach in a ring, I might not walk out. And I'm serious. I mean, not vertically, maybe horizontally. You carry me. This is how tough this guy was. We watched some films of him. You know, back in the days when you had VHS films, maybe betas. Anyway, I didn't think it was 8 betas. So we're watching films of this guy, and he's throwing like 120, 130 punches around. Okay, and he's throwing hard shots. And there's nothing that's dissuading him. I mean, he's a Diamond Belt champion. I mean, he's a real deal, man. So they want me to fight him, I think, in Southern California, no, in Central California, some tournament. And about a week before the tournament, I said to myself, after looking at the films, I can't beat this guy. Why step into a tournament that you can't win? I mean, it wasn't like I may have been in that position when I tried to ascend to the Olympic level in 1984 and ended up finishing number 13. But I lost the decision to a guy that was in the top 10, Vincent Webb, no doubt about that. Vince was tough. Vince brought it from St. Louis, Missouri. I remember when I went to St. Louis, I saw Vince, and of course that was the site of the Zab Judah. Who was it? Zab Judah and, Corey Spinks. Corey Spinks losing that day. Of course, Corey Spinks defending his title home. Leon Spinks was there. His father, of course, Leon Spinks, the man that beat Muhammad Ali for the heavyweight championship. Big upset there, of course. But I think that Ali was in not the best condition in the world. He was old at the time. And, of course, that sort of went according to Scripture, I thought. Of course, Ali came back in the rematch and handily beat an unprepared Leon Spinks. But Leon Spinks, I thought his highlight to me, as far as boxing was concerned, was when Larry Holmes decided he was going to destroy him. Larry Holmes gave him a look that was the most one of the most intimidating looks I've ever seen in my life, as far as anybody laying down on anybody else. Like, man, I'm about to steal your soul. And Larry went out there and knocked him out, I think, in less than one round. But Leon. Oh, how about the other time that Leon got rolled and he was in a hotel room somewhere and they found his teeth? And they found his teeth somewhere, and they found his ID somewhere else, in 2 different hotel rooms in the same hotel. And there was like room 14 were his teeth, and room 18 was his wallet. So how he got into 2 different hotel rooms, nobody really knows. But that was Leon Spinks, and of course the best of the Spinks brothers, I thought, was Michael. No doubt about it. In fact, the best of the Spinks family, no doubt about that. First generation. I mean, he was a Olympic gold medalist in 1976, went on to become the light heavyweight champion of the world. And of course, was the undisputed light heavyweight guy at 175 pounds. Got on some weights. Went with Mackie Shilstone, lifted some weights, ended up doing some vitamins, that kind of stuff, moved up to heavyweight, ended up beating Larry Holmes. A very, very close decision. I thought that Larry might have pulled out a draw or a close decision. I could have won either way, but Michael Spinks won that night, and, as far as the official scorecards were concerned. And I think that was one of the nights where the boxing establishment sort of stepped in and said, no, you don't. And I think Larry was just talking too much smack. Larry was too much of a free agent. In fact, Larry sort of set the tone for the establishment drilling him and taking that championship away from him, according to, in his mind, after the fight, when he said that, Rocky Marciano couldn't carry his jockstrap. Of course, Marciano retired 49-0, the world heavyweight champion, the only heavyweight title holder to ever retire undefeated. Of course, never beaten in the ring. Give him some props, but the average age of his opponents was 34.6 years. 34 and a half years old. That's the average age. Because if you're the heavyweight champion defending against 35-year-old guys, maybe you're not fighting the best opposition, okay? And a lot of those guys that, Marciano fought were, either fair or middle. And they weren't the greatest rolling the stars. I can go on and on. Bottom line is, Marciano never really impressed me. In fact, I thought that the most impressive thing about Marciano was the fact that he buried $5 million in cash. He buried $5 million in cash somewhere. They think it was in Florida. He buried $5 million in cash. Cuddy's been looking for this $5 million for years, okay? But no, he buried $5 million in cash, and then he died. and nobody knows where the $5 million is. In other words, the Marcianos went all over the country, different spots with a shovel, and they've been digging here and digging there, but they ain't digging it because they're not finding the money. $5 million. $5 million. This was a guy that was so cheap that everywhere he went, oh, am I going to get on a Rocky Marciano around here? Okay, I will. Anyway, this was a guy that was so cheap that everywhere he went, he wanted a free ride. In fact, that's how he died. Taking a free ride. This is what happened. He had like a Pan Am ticket. I think it was Pan Am, yeah. He had a Pan Am ticket, and he cashed the Pan Am ticket in place of riding on the back of some freighter, some cargo plane. And the cargo plane crashed, and he was dead. I mean, come on, man. You gotta be really a cheap fool to die that way. But that's the way he went out. Like I say, he brought it on himself. You are tuned to Ring Talk, hour number 1 of 2, of course, today on Sports Byline, iHeartRadio, Sirius XM, Satellite Radio, of course, the American Forces Network. I can keep going and going and going, but I've got to tell you, we're also on Stitcher.com and TuneIn.com, so there's all kinds of outlets to listen to Ring Talk live worldwide. Of course, Johnny Signorella's got the Ring Talk worldwide page going at YouTube.com, so all kinds of different outlets. You can watch the show live and delayed. We've got some broadcasts as far as Twitch TV is concerned. I'm trying to put together these live broadcasts, but the live ones aren't going as well as I thought. My producers think otherwise. But we will go with the tape versions. In fact, we'll put them up on the web either tomorrow or the next day. Of course, I'm talking about Twitch.tv and the Sports Byline channel. Sports Byline USA, they are broadcasting most of our shows here live. In fact, I saw Ron Barr the other night. Ron Barr, rocking and rolling, the godfather of Sports Byline, rocking and rolling, baby. He was rocking and rolling on Twitch.tv. And, of course, Twitter, Mr. Tittle. Rick Tittle's got that down. Rick Tittle's a Twitch.tv star, no doubt about that. Speaking of stars, you are tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide, where you're the star, folks. You can join us on the toll-free if you like, 1-800-878-7529, or, and I've got about 10 of these, so I'll go to them after the break. 10 texts. If you want to add to it, you can. I'll get to them all before the show's over, I promise. The text line, you can text the studio, 415-275-1613. That's 415-275-1613. Hour number 2 of Ring Talk Live Worldwide to come. We'll talk MMA, and, of course, we'll bring back Johnny Sig from Las Vegas, Nevada. You are tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide.
Stop. My heart beats so into it's you I live for. You are in my system.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices, and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Where do you want to go on a vacation or honeymoon? The Caribbean, Europe, Hawaii, Mexico? How about Disney or a cruise? At Superior Cruise and Travel, we've got you covered. We'll assign you your own travel concierge. They'll help you design a custom vacation plan that you can't find online. And the service is completely free. You can't compare the value of this to any other online travel company. We can help you plan a custom vacation anywhere in the world. We even offer payment plans with no credit card required. Now you pay off your vacation on your time schedule. Call now and mention the promo code RADIO and save up to $500. Book your custom trip. Call Superior Cruise and Travel now and talk to one of the highest rated travel agencies in the country with a 5-star A+ online rating.
800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. That's 800-570-9631.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
I was sitting in a coffee shop just minding my own affairs when all of a sudden this policeman caught me unawares. He said, "Is your name Pedro?" I said, "Yeah, I guess so." He said, "Then come with me because you're the man we've been looking for." I said, "Hey man, I've been framed." Hey, no really man, I was framed. I never do nothing wrong, man. But every time I get the blame, I've been framed. They put me in the lineup and let the bright lights shine. There was 10 poor dudes like me standing in that line. I knew I was a victim of somebody's evil plan when this scroungy looking dude came up and said, "Yeah, that's him, man." Hey, wait a minute, man, I've been framed.
And we dedicate that to the Sergeant Sedenko of the Sports Byline Broadcast Network, Rick Tittle. Bottom line is you are tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide, your inside look into the world of boxing and MMA. That's why we've got San Francisco, we have a 420 mentality for the most part. Everybody except Mr. Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle's like anti-420, so it's sort of like 411. He basically can get his information at 411, but 420, that's not Rick Tittle's thing. So we understand that. We respect Rick Tittle, but we still got to poke fun at him here and there. Now, the UFC Rock and Roll, of course, last night from Ottawa, Canada. Wow, man. Long card. Way too long. Get this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 fights went to a decision. Yikes. And it was only like 14 fights. So if you went 10 out of 14 fights went to a decision, that was a long night. What does that mean? That means the matchmakers either are doing too good of a job or they don't have the talent to work with to produce the type of fights that they need to. I mean, you can't say these are all type of work fights. I mean, I'll talk about it a little bit later in hour number 2, but Donald Cerrone, the Cowboy, beat Al LaQuenta. That was a decision. Derek Brunson beat Elias Thurudu. Of course, Shane Burgos beat Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson, UFC favorite at featherweight 145. Merkel Devishio beat Brad Katona. Of course, that was by decision. The only knockout on the main card was heavyweight Walt Harris knocked out Sergey Spivak with a TKO. That was 50 seconds into round number 1, knees and punches. And of course, the other fight on the main card on ESPN Plus was a middleweight bout, 185. Andrew Sanchez taking on Andre Barala. He beat him by unanimous knockout across the board, 2 rounds to 1. So all these fights going to decisions. Not a great night for the UFC. And I think the UFC's in trouble. People keep telling me, "Why do you say that? It's a $4.2 billion entity. How can you say they're in trouble?" I say they're in trouble because they don't have the talent. I mean, in order to have a $4.2 billion, company, you got to have like a lot of talent. I don't think they have it, and especially with the fact that they don't want to cultivate the talent. What I'm trying to tell you is there's no legacy building in the UFC. In other words, it's death match after death match after death match after death match. You're not afforded the opportunity to build a legacy because you just can't keep defying the odds. I mean, how many times can you get hit by a hammer in the face and prevail? Not all the time. Bottom line is UFC fighters, MMA fighters have short careers. They need to get paid more and more money. Hopefully that suit that's rocking and rolling in Las Vegas will prevail for them. You are tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Scott Cuddy says hour number 2 still to come. Hour number 2 on Sports Byline of Ring Talk Live Worldwide.
800-507-1148. Little to no cost with full insurance payment, copay, and deductible supply promo subject to qualification while supplies last.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from the West Coast, it's time for Ring Talk Live Worldwide.
Fascinating.
For over 30 years, and still, your inside look into boxing and mixed martial arts.
What the hell's going on out here?
Heard live around the world. and brought to you by the World Boxing Organization.
Yeah.
And now, live from the Ring Talk Studios in San Francisco, here's the host of the longest-running fight show in history.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! And Foreman is as poised as can be!
Pedro Fernandez.
Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the multi-million-dollar Sports Byline Studios in the city by the bay, San Francisco, California. Yeah, the guy was correct to introduce me there. My name is Pedro Fernandez, often imitated, but hardly duplicated. Straight up, been doing this a little while now. Couple weeks per se, 35 plus years now. Rocking out all bums, rocking and rolling. Of course, today this is the second hour of Ring Talk Live worldwide on Sports Byline, iHeartRadio, Sirius XM Satellite Radio. I keep going. We're on like 1,000 different platforms. I guess I got to get like a whole show to just talk about all the different internet platforms we're on. But I'm really grateful for that. Of course, the people that put that together here at Sports Byline are the best in the world. Speaking of Sports Byline, we've got open phone lines in the Sports Byline Studios. 1-800-878-7529. That's 1-800-878-7529. Or the guilt-free, the no-commitment text line. The number, 415-275-1613. That's 415-275-1613. The heavyweight champion of the world is upcoming. I'm talking about Anthony Joshua, of course, defending the title against a heavyweight. I don't know if he's a challenger or not, but he's a heavyweight. Andy Ruiz. I mean, Andy's never seen a buffet. Put it this way. Andy's got 4 or 5 convictions on his record. He's a criminal. That's right. He's a buffet burglar. In other words, in Las Vegas, he wears a mask. He goes to those all-you-can-eat buffets and wears a mask because they won't let him in because he's such a fat pig and eats all the food. So they won't let him in. They won't let Andy Ruiz in the place, okay? So he has to wear a mask, and then he gets exposed. You know, hey, take off that mask. That's that guy's nose. Well, they sort of got hip after he ate like the 19th tray of food. What am I trying to tell you? That's sort of a sad world when Andy Ruiz, record or not, gets to step in with the world heavyweight champion. I'm talking about Anthony Joshua. Last minute replacement, you know what that means. That means Joshua's knocking out all bums. Straight up. You tune to Ring Talk Live worldwide.
The decision now. Let's listen.
Clarity in the world of professional boxing is spelled WBO. That's right. The World Boxing Organization is boxing's only transparent sanctioned body. You can follow the WBO on Facebook or check out their website, WBOboxing.com. That's WBOboxing.com. The World Boxing Organization.
Let's do it. We have a new heavyweight champion of the world.
Remember in the beginning, when you first started to build a life for you and your family, you never imagined it would come to this. Instead of living your dreams, you're living with debt. In fact, it's smothering you. Now there's a way you can take back control with one simple call. If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you qualify to receive a free, no-obligation consultation on how to get rid of that debt for good. Call the Debt Helpline now. We work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. One simple call is all it takes to get the ball rolling to a debt-free life. Stop living with debt and start living your dreams. Call the Debt Helpline now.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. That's 800-957-6063.
Ask yourself, if you built a van for your business, where would you start? At the beginning, of course, with the people who invented the work van over 100 years ago, Mercedes-Benz. You'd give your new Mercedes-Benz Sprinter advanced technology and safety to keep you connected and protected. You'd make it available in diesel and gas, and there would be thousands of configurations and upfits to choose from. Because your one-of-a-kind business deserves nothing less than a van that's built for you. Introducing the all-new Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, the safest, most innovative Sprinter yet. Starting at just $33,790. Built for you, the all-new Sprinter. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
MSRP excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Equipment described as optional.
Have you heard about podcasting? With podcasts, your favorite radio shows like Sports Overnight America and the Video Game Review are delivered directly to your computer, automatically, so you can listen when and where you want, as many times as you want. And it's easy, too. Just go to sportsbyline.com and click on the Get Podcast button next to the show you want. Visit sportsbyline.com today.
Now, back to Pedro Fernandez with the MMA Hour.
Talking boxing and mixed martial arts for the next hour on Sports Byline. Of course, you are tuned to the mighty Sports Byline broadcast network. In fact, you can be doing a million things in the world right now, so I thank you so much for joining the Sports Byline crew here. For straight up, we're talking boxing and mixed martial arts. You know, I harped heavily on Andy Ruiz in the open there. Of course, Andy Ruiz, a heavyweight, set to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship soon. Good fighter, good record, but not a dedicated guy. He's a fat pig. I mean, he's 32-1, but he's fat as a pig. He's 21 KLs. I mean, come on, the guy weighs he's maybe 35, 40 pounds overweight. And whether he shows blazing hand speed on bags, and can hit pads well, and that kind of good stuff, you know, when you're a fat guy, you're not going to move around with the type of fluidity that you would if you weren't a fat guy. And the bottom line is, you know, he should be looking to work that fat off. Instead, he's like happy being a fat guy. In between fights, what does he do? He gets arrested. He's been arrested 4 times now. They don't want him in Las Vegas anymore. Andy Ruiz has been banned from the Strip. Why? I told you, the buffet burglar thing. And they don't want to talk about it. Those people at Top Rank, of course, as promoters in Las Vegas, they really have tried to keep this undercover. But, you know, Ruiz has been popped now 3 or 4 times, and he's a serial buffet burglar. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. Andy Ruiz, give him his props. Good record in the challenge Anthony Joshua, of course, the 1st of June at the Garden, the Mecca of boxing in New York City. So he's going to make like $6-7 million bucks. Props to you, man. But guess what? Go out and get one of those liposuction surgery type of things. Get that fat off you. I mean, come on, man. Seriously. You're supposed to be like challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, you're a Mexican-American. Do you really want people to think, well, that's what a Mexican heavyweight looks like? A fat middleweight? Come on, Andy. Come on, Andy. And you know I'm not giving you a bad time because you're Mexican. I'm giving you a bad time because you're fat. If you're a fat white guy or a fat black guy, I say the same thing. You're fat. Okay? You're not going to reach your athletic potential being a fat guy, no matter what. And obviously you haven't gotten that, or you would have dropped down to what would be considered an optimum weight for you. And I don't know what that would be. I mean, nobody, because you don't know what that would be. I mean, you're sort of like the guy that we really don't know how slim you could get and still be strong. I'm figuring you could lose 15 or 20 pounds, at least, maybe 30 pounds, maybe 40 pounds, maybe even 50 pounds. That's how fat you are. But I got to put you your props. At 6'2", you know, you're gonna pop a little bit in those hands as far as hand speed's concerned. But that's it. That's all you've got is fast hands. That's all that's going to work for you. In fact, you went to show that off on the bag the other day. Big deal. I don't think you've got a chance. In fact, you know, they say slim and none. What does Don King say? He's got 2 chances, slim and none, and slim just left town. Well, guess what? Slim left town as far as Andy Ruiz is concerned, and it wasn't Andy Ruiz. 32-1 challenger for the World Heavyweight Championship. That's going to go down June the 1st. Of course, the man that was supposed to be in that spot, Jarrell Miller, out with not 1, not 2, but 3 different drug pops. Holy cow, 3 different drug pops. How do you get popped 3 different times for drugs? Like, all within a week. I mean, you don't know you're, like, doing something dirty? I mean, here's what's up. I remember back in the days when guys used to get popped for a little weed in their system or something like that. You know, then you had some some guys would take Valium to relax before the fights, and you see some of the Domo type of drugs in their system and this and that. Yeah, some guys get nervous wrecks. I know a lot of guys that suffered anxiety attacks before fights. I never did. I never suffered afterwards. I mean, but not before fights. No, not before fights. We're pretty focused on that. In fact, I was scared to death until the bell rang. And if I wasn't scared to death, the one time I wasn't scared up, I got lit up like a White House Christmas tree. You must be scared when you step into that squared circle of battle. If you're not going to bring it all. It's just the way it is. It's all about, fear. I mean, fear is a great motivating factor. And when somebody's looking to take off your head, that's why, I can't not imagine or fathom going into a ring being fat like Andy Ruiz. I couldn't imagine it. I mean, in other words, if I was a junior welterweight, and that's what I fought at 139 pounds. That's what the weight was back in the days. That shows you how dated I am, how long ago I did fight. But it was the junior welterweight limit, and the average was 139 pounds. Never was 140, or now it's 141, I think. But anyway, making that weight was hell. There was just absolutely no doubt about it. But I made it because stepping up and weight to the next weight class got you hurt, okay? But if I was to be like the Andy Ruiz type of guy, in other words, I'd be weighing like 175, 180 pounds and fighting 139 pounds. That's the equivalent of what he is as a heavyweight. And why do I say that? Because it's pretty obvious. That's why Anthony Joshua picked this guy up at the last minute. Listen, they pick up these last minute guys, especially this with a good record. In fact, they're going to market him as a Mexican American killer, this and that. Come on, man. I mean, if 4 or 5 Mexicans south of the border want to tune in to watch Andy Ruiz, I'd be surprised. I mean, I'd be surprised. He's not Julio Cesar Chavez. He's not Salvador Sanchez. I mean, come on, man. Please, not Ruben Olivares, although I thought Olivares was vastly overrated. Never knew what Mexicans got off on Ruben Olivares. Never got that one. Although he beat Bobby Chacon. Outside of that, and Chacon was like partying and doing cocaine, you know, and drinking and that kind of good stuff. Bobby wasn't all that dedicated for a lot of his career. But when Olivares beat him, I guess that was his claim to fame. But afterwards, you know, I see Ruben. He's saluted at the crowd. Maybe am I dogging people today? I don't know. Anyway, you see him at the fights in L.A. and around the world, in Mexico and things like that, and the fans just love him. They just love him, and I just don't get it. He's not a good speaker. You know, he didn't fight. You know, he was like a bleep. He wasn't here that long, no doubt about that. Of course, the guys that he fought, guys like Alexis Arguello. Wow, Alexis Arguello. Alexis hammered him. That was pretty unfair. Alexis fighting guys at 126 and 130 pounds. Alexis should have been arrested for domestic violence. I mean, he just should have. He was bigger, stronger, hit harder than these guys. And when you're towering over people at 126, 130 pounds, you know, and he's not a guy that's putting on like all kinds of weight after the weigh-in. If Arguello weighed in at 126 back in the day, he weighed 129 come fight time. If he weighed in 130 pounds at the time for a fight, he walked into the ring at 135 pounds at the max. When he tried to do that 140 thing, that was a mistake for Alexis Arguello, stepping up to 140 pounds and taking on the challenge, of course, challenging Aaron Pryor, the undefeated then junior welterweight champion, 140 pounds. Pryor, the unpredictable one, but Pryor, you know, there's all kinds of little asterisks in that fight, that first fight, of course, back in 1982. And why were in November 1982? Why were there all kinds of asterisks in it? Well, some people thought that Panama Lewis took stuffing out of Aaron Pryor's gloves. Because if you look at Alexis Arguello's face, he never got damaged like that ever in any other fight. He had almost 100 fights. So on the flip side of that, Panama Lewis, who was, as I said, was his trainer that night, was also the trainer of Billy Collins. Was also the trainer of the young man that fought on Billy Collins, and they took the stuffing out of his gloves. So they took the stuffing out of his gloves in a 1983 bout in the Garden, of course. And this young man went out to hurt Billy Collins. Billy was never the same. Both the fighter and Panama Lewis was banned. And of course, that's why you don't see Panama around anymore. What a brilliant mind he was, though. I don't mean for cheating. I mean in the world of boxing. Panama Lewis was a slick dude, a smart trainer, but he had to cheat. He had to go that extra yard. He just had to go that extra yard, you know, and of course that played against him, and in the end he was banned for life. But as far as one of the all-time smart guys and knows how to do things, knows how to train guys, knows how to get guys in shape and prepare for different styles, Panama Lewis was a guy. Until he cheated and almost got Billy Collins killed. Then, of course, we had that skirmish. We had a little skirmish there at 1996 at the Tyson-Buster Mathis fight in Philadelphia, the Spectrum. We sort of rumbled back and forth at the weigh-in. I told him I wasn't backing down, and I wasn't. Sucker, I wasn't backing down. Straight up, we almost went to blows. You are tuned to the mighty Sports Byline broadcast network. Coming back with Johnny Sega in Las Vegas on Sports Byline.
You're listening to the MMA Hour.
Who saw that coming, Doctor?
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Being a new parent means every high and low you can imagine. But Evos can make it all easier with a baby monitor you can trust. Go to myevos.com. That's MYEVOZ.com to see how Evos can be the eyes and ears of your nursery. Evos works with your smartphone to provide a live audio and HD video connection to your baby anytime and anywhere. On a date, at work, away on business, even serving your country overseas, Evos helps you never miss a moment. Whether your baby is with a sitter, your partner, a grandparent, or a friend, you'll be right there too. And with unique features like smart alerts that know the difference between a barking dog and your baby crying, extensive sleep tracking data, and state-of-the-art security features for your peace of mind, Evos is the smart baby monitor for connected parents. And enter the code SPORTS at checkout for $20 off. That's myevos.com. MYEVOZ.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Now, more of the MMA Hour with Pedro Fernandez.
Getting some heat here via the text line, so I'll get to the heat first. Andy in K-Shell country, of course, 1400 AM down there in Las Vegas says, what about two-ton Tony Galento? What about him? He knocked down Joe Louis in a fight. Of course, 80 wins, 57 KOs, 26 losses. I mean, the guy challenged for the World Heavyweight Championship, and he was a fat pig. But what are we trying to say? What is that? Are you trying to give Mr. Andy Ruiz more credit than he deserves? He's a fat pig too. Okay, that's the bottom line. But I'll say this: Andy Ruiz did not box a 550-pound bear, as did two-ton Tony Galento. He actually boxed the bear, I kid you not. Of course, knocking down Joe Louis back in 1938. So I think I've taken care of that. Now, speaking of heavyweights, let's take it to Las Vegas and bring in the undefeated Johnny Sig. Johnny, the boxing future looks pretty good. Of course, I harped on Andy Ruiz, and I had you off air on purpose on that because I didn't want to drag you into that one. But did I kick him in the teeth a couple of times there or what?
A little bit, you know. It really wasn't like a curved jaw, but it was pretty much a kick to the mouth. We'll say that. Here's what's up with exactly. Here's what's up with Andy Ruiz. He's got good hand speed. You know, last minute stuff. We know what that means. You know.
Oh, no. Time out. This is radio. What does last minute sub mean? What does TBA mean?
To be annihilated, brother.
No. But go. All right, that's a good one. But back to last minute sub. Explain the last minute sub to the listeners.
What happened was that Jarrell Miller popped for more drugs in his system than a CVS pharmacy, leading up to the drug testing to face Anthony Joshua. They needed an opponent. They went after Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz said no. $7 million apparently wasn't enough for Luis Ortiz, whose highest payday to date was $500,000 against
against Deontay Wilder. Don't get me started. Anyway, fast forward. He's the guy that they chose. He was the one that's going to do it, accepting the $4 to $5 million. I believe they're going to pay him. So he's there as a last-minute opponent. June 1st, Madison Square Garden, Anthony Joshua's American debut.
Interesting. Of course, wow. Anthony Joshua, of course, Jarrell Miller, a 300-pound guy. You know, let's be honest, he's another fat guy. So Joshua's dating fat guys. I mean, evidently Amir Khan's ex-wife's not fat, but Joshua likes fat opponents, not fat ladies.
There you go. I think his next one down the stretch will be Usyk, and I think it'd be smart for Joshua to move in that direction after he gets past Andy Ruiz. Because let's face facts, you know, Usyk's coming up for his first fight against Carlos Takam coming up May 25th, I believe the date is. He'd be smart to go after Usyk before he fills into that heavyweight frame, because we know how dangerous Usyk is, and if he becomes a very, very good heavyweight, which I think he could be, you know, he could be more of a threat to Joshua down a stretch. So I think Joshua's next move after this is to take on Usyk and get him out of there early as he tries to campaign at heavyweight.
Unnamed from Pittsburgh said, why doesn't Butterbean challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship if fat people are challenging? Okay, point well taken. But Butterbean, he rumbled with Tyson. He rumbled with Holmes. I mean, he fought some pretty good guys there for being a sideshow attraction.
Yeah, he was a 4-round, 6-round fighter, though. People got to remember that. These guys go 12 rounds, you know. And aside from, like, the heavier guys we've seen of late, because I can't credit Jarrell Miller for anything he's done. Obviously, this man's whole career is in question, popping for that many drugs. I mean, my God. So moving past that, like a guy like Andy Ruiz, who doesn't look like he'll ever make the cover of Wheaties anytime soon, I got to give him some credit because he does go 10 to 12 rounds. His only loss was to Joseph Parker in Ruiz, where a lot of people thought that Andy won. You know, I'm on the fence with it. I could go either way. It wasn't that great of a fight, in my opinion. Do I think he shows up and tries? I think the kid's got a lot of heart. He's a good soundbite, and we see what happens come June 1st at Madison Square Garden.
Man, you know what you're going to hear in Madison Square Garden if you were just doing a radio broadcast of that fight? You know what you're going to hear about 4 or 5, maybe 6 rounds in? Timber! Okay? And then you're going to, wait. And then you're going to hear, plop!
Yeah.
Andy Ruiz hitting the canvas.
As Joshua should do. And I love when consummate professionals such as the Joshua goes out there and handles their business. If he doesn't take this guy out under, I'm going to say, 6 to 7 rounds, I'll be a little disappointed. Unless Andy Ruiz shows me so much heart and so much determination and so much grit, where you got to be like, you know what, I got to applaud the guy. He tried his best type of thing. But I foresee Anthony Joshua, like, taking this guy out under 6 or 7 rounds.
You know, we talked about Regis Pragas and Teofimo, and of course the young man last night. All three of these guys. You know, I like the Hector Camacho personalities, the guys that pop off and then go out there and do it. And before Hector got hooked on coke, I'm telling you, Hector was like the best. He was an accomplished and incredible boxer. He just got hooked up on cocaine, and you know, coke won.
Yeah, you know, and unfortunately that happens to a lot of guys, and we saw it recently, you know, with Benavidez. Hopefully Benavidez straightens himself out. Now, getting back to the person that you spoke to exactly, recently, the person you were just speaking about in Teofimo Lopez and Prograis, yeah, they got personalities, especially Prograis, man. He's a mouthpiece. You know, some people get offended by it. I like it because you know what that does? It gets people listening. It gets people watching, whether you like him or hate him, whether you want to see him win or lose because he offends you or something. You want to see him get knocked out. That's what boxing needs, personalities. Anyone that questions someone, you know, personality in this sport, say, how could someone, do you understand, like, how someone could do this type of thing? They're going to have a certain personality about them. So long as they don't hurt or super offend anyone, like we saw with, like, you know, Conor McGregor and Khabib, like, you know, going after his religion and his father. But these guys have certain personalities. It takes a certain character to want to fight someone for a living. You know,
to want to fight someone to want to fight someone. Period. I mean, you've got to be a bit of a nut to want to stand there and trade blows with somebody. I mean, I remember my mother said to me, she goes, and I had 7 fights, and she didn't know 6 fights. She didn't know, and then some fights she saw a black eye. Push came to shove. Anyway, bottom line is, you know, couldn't lie to mom. Mom used to tell me, "Swear to God on my life." Oh, Johnny, when I be lying, you know what I'm saying? I'd be lying, Johnny, and Mom would say, swear to God on my life, and I go, yeah, I could, but my sister could blow right through that. She blew right through that, man. I couldn't do it, man. My mother knew. She goes, I can get you every time on that one, you know. And he couldn't take chances with Mom.
I feel you, man. And you know, it does take a certain mentality and character trait to want to be competitor and fight for a living, whether it be boxing, mixed martial arts, Muay Thai, wrestling, whatever it's going to be. And the bottom line is, I'm not surprised when I see people do things or say things, you know, and feel themselves a certain way. My only thing is that I don't ever want them to cross the line. Don't disrespect someone's wife, religion, race, whatever, you know, because there is a fine line to this. There are rules to this thing. But at the end of the day, I'm not surprised when I hear someone talk about themselves highly. You have to think of yourself highly to go out there and be a world killer, especially in boxing and modern athletes in general nowadays. What these guys are doing with training and technology and what they're putting in their systems, you know, whether it be Flintstone vitamins, a.k.a. steroids, or just being, you know, natural. Athletes nowadays are no joke. So you have to have a competitive edge. What's that, buddy?
No, I was talking to myself. Go on. Sorry.
No worries, man. I was done with my point. But nowadays, you have to have that competitive edge, that drive, that thing that says, hey, I'm the best. Listen to me. And now sometimes people are over the top with it, where you're like, yeah, you know, show me, you know, Curtis the Shields. But you look at someone like Regis Prograis that shows it with talent. I believe you, bro. I've seen things in that boy, like I said last week, that is just future Hall of Famer in the making. And I'm putting myself on record to say that. I will eat crow if I have to. And if homeboy gets knocked out or embarrassed, you know, I'll sit there. You know me, I'll take it. But Regis Prograis, man, whew, the future of boxing.
Let's have some fun.
I told you what I was going to do before I did it. I told you I was going to jab him in the corners. I was going to let him take all the shots. He was any heavyweight would be willing to fight. Frazier was, Martin was. I told you this is no skill. I told you he don't hit hard. I told you it will be a total mismatch. George Foreman is still one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. That's not fair. He never was. That's not fair. Has been. That's not fair. Just because I'm beating you, think it's not the greatest in credit.
October 1st, 1975, the last historic confrontation between Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali, the largest closed-circuit TV audience in history, was treated to one of the greatest fights in heavyweight history.
People want to see me and Joe Frazier. They still think Joe Frazier can beat me. They don't want to see me and Ken Norton. They don't want to see me and George Foreman. They want to see me and Joe Frazier, although George Foreman annihilated Frazier, and George Foreman will beat Frazier every day in the week. George Foreman will beat Ken Norton every day in the week, and I will beat George Foreman every day in the week. Right. But the fools still think that chump Joe Frazier can beat me because he went the distance twice and it ended up on a close decision. I'm going to give him a real whooping, and I wrote a poem. Some of you heard it, but this is a little conscience. I got a little gorilla here. This is his conscience. I keep it right in my pocket everywhere I go. Right there. And I wrote a short poem. It says there will be a killer and a thriller and a killer when I get the gorilla in Manila. That's right. And I got his conscience right here to keep me on guard. See, here's the way he looks when you hit him. All night, that's all he can be. All night in Malaysia. That's all you're going to see. The Philippines, rather. Come on, gorilla. We in Manila. Come on, gorilla. This is a thriller.
Johnny Sig, was Ali stepping over the line?
Yeah, a little bit, especially for the time. You got to consider the time, you know. And even in this day and age, I think so. And Joe really was offended by that stuff. Joe took it to heart. From my understanding, Joe Frazier was a very sensitive man in that regard. From people that I spoke to that knew him closely and everything like that. But I almost don't blame him because it was a little bit much. And I understand Ali's thing that he was out there, he was a talker, and he was trying to get under people's skin, and he did so well at doing so. Look what he did to George Foreman in Zaire. That was ridiculous.
Johnny, the real number done on George Foreman and Zaire was when President Mobutu Mbeki, or that was his name, I think, when he actually said you couldn't leave the country until the fight was going to happen, because the fight was postponed originally. It was going to take place 6 weeks earlier, but George Foreman got cut, so they postponed the fight. Foreman wanted to leave the country. The president said no. They put armed guards outside. Bottom line is, you are tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. Johnny Signorello, the ace, returns after the break for us. Got to go to some of these texts, but you know what's happening with the text line. The number, 415-275-1613. That's 415-275-1613. You're tuned to Sports Byline.
You're listening to the MMA Hour.
Comes the decision now. Let's listen.
Clarity in the world of professional boxing is spelled WBO. That's right, the World Boxing Organization is boxing's only transparent sanctioned body. You can follow the WBO on Facebook or check out their website, WBOboxing.com. This is WBOboxing.com. The World Boxing Organization.
He has done it! We have a new heavyweight champion in the world!
Taming the briar patch, mowing the lawn, trimming the Yeti. Whatever you call it, it's about time we talk about manscaping. Guys, you manscape, right? You know, keep things trimmed and fresh below the waist. 9 out of 10 women of all ages prefer their guy manscaped. But you gotta have the right tools for the jewels, or you'll look like you used a machete. Pop over to manscaped.com and check out their perfect package. Not that perfect package. The Manscaped Perfect Package 2.0 that was a smash hit on Shark Tank. It features the lawnmower, a precision trimmer engineered for below-the-waist grooming. Its skin-safe technology means no more accidental nicks and burns. Check out the lawnmower and the amazing grooming and hygiene products that come with your perfect package. What's that saying? Trim the shrubs and the tree stands taller? Get 20% off plus free shipping today. Visit manscaped.com and use promo code RING. Again, use promo code RING at manscaped.com. Manscaped.com.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip, or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Hi, I'm Rick Tittle, and I host the Video Game Review every Sunday night at 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight on the East Coast, right here on the Sports Byline USA Broadcast Network. Video games are way more important than your job, your school, or your relationship, so let's talk about them. Everything from the 2600 to the 360. I don't work for any video game company, so I'll tell you what's worth your money and what stinks. Also, cheat codes, interviews, your calls. I'll give away a game, release dates, all that and more every Sunday night right here on the Sports Byline USA Broadcast Network.
Now, more of the MMA Hour with Pedro Fernandez.
He is the king as far as boxing in the money world is concerned. I'm talking about Saul Alvarez signing that $375 million contract. Call him Canelo, call it what you want, call him Cinnamon. Wow, pound for pound, he may be the best out there right now, 28 years old, 52-1, a couple of draws. Of course, Terrence Crawford. Terrence, 31 years old, now 3 years older than the 28-year-old Alvarez. He comes in undefeated, 35 and zip. The guy that started out at 135, went to 140, and of course now residing 147 pounds. Eventually he and Earl Spence will make for a pretty good fight. Gennady Golovkin, of course, the Golovkin, the once beaten Golovkin, 38-1-1. The one draw with Canelo. And of course, the one loss to Canelo. Some people dispute the draw, but they don't dispute the loss. No doubt about that. But Golovkin rocking and rolling, looking to, we'll talk about his future in just a second. Joshua up there, of course, the undefeated world heavyweight champion, 29 years old, 22 and zip, comes to us from the UK. And of course, as the aforementioned Spence. But the guy that really got me rocking and rolling here as far as these top 10 guys are concerned are the number 6 and 7 guys in the BoxRec.com list. And I'm talking about Vasyl Lomachenko, just 13-1, 31 years old, though. I think he's hit his peak at 135 pounds as far as size and domination is concerned. And Oleg Usyk, the aforementioned Oleg Usyk, of course, the cruiserweight title holder, 16-0. Wow, what a fighter. 16-0 as cruiserweight, 200 pounds, but there's a big difference. We talk about this time and time again. In fact, we beat this to death. Moving up in weight can be hazardous to your health. So Johnny Siggs on the line from Las Vegas, our boxing expert, and Johnny Siggs is going to tell me why Oleg Usyk is the exception to the rule.
Phenomenal hand speed for a big man. He's got good size for a guy that's moving up from cruiser to heavyweight. Not the biggest guy in the world, but decent enough size. Ring intellect, decent power, angles. Man, this guy fights at angles and does things to heavyweight division that no other heavyweight does. When I always speak about how good Tyson Fury is, it's similar but different. Obviously, Tyson Fury and Usyk are very different styles. But Fury does things at heavyweight that most people don't do. Okay, let's think about Usyk now. He does those type of things. Think about, I love how you were talking about Lomachenko. What a great way to segue into Usyk. Because they're from the same stable, and they have similar things, but at different weight classes. Usyk, to me, is going to be a very big threat. And that's why I said before, earlier, that I think if Joshua was smart, he would take him as early on as he can in the inception of what Usyk's trying to do at heavyweight, because Usyk's going to be very dangerous as he fills into that heavyweight body.
Speaking of heavyweights and light heavyweights and cruiserweights and that kind of good stuff, how about 175 pounds, Canelo and Sergey Kovalev? Oscar's saying it could happen. Oscar's willing to promote it.
Yeah, they've been talking about that. I don't put it past Canelo. We saw him do, against Rocky Fielding at 168. I mean, what does that really mean? But, maybe he could do the 175. Maybe they're thinking that Kovalev is there and vulnerable.
He's old.
What happens? Yeah.
He's old and slow now, man. Everybody's saying, Kovalev is back. No. Kovalev's winning. He's not back. There's a difference, don't you think?
Exactly. I could not have said it better, or I could not agree more. The future of that division, I think, is Dimitri Bivol. Arthur Beterbiev, who we saw last night, do a good job. You got Gavastek down there at 175. So, and sometimes people could see things. Canelo saw something in Rocky Fielding. Maybe they see something in Kovalev. It's a name.
He was a mark. That's what he was a mark. Wait, they saw something in Rocky Fielding. I saw something in Rocky Fielding. Rocky Fielding couldn't win the Golden Gloves over here.
Absolutely, I could not agree more, brother.
I couldn't. When he put his hands up, I said to myself, this is a mark.
I love it. Absolutely.
Johnny Siggs on the line, of course, from Las Vegas. Going to go to some of the texts here now. Beterbiev, not the most flamboyant guy in the world, but he blasted out some guy in 5 rounds last night. You mentioned him. Where does he stand at 175? Is he the best at 175, or is Kovalev still a faded Kovalev still the best at 175? Is 175 got a supreme fighter?
Well, we hope we get Beterbiev to take on Kovalev at 175. They're both on the same network, so it shouldn't be an issue. Until I see, a guy like Beterbiev or Bivol come around and really dismantle a guy like a Kovalev at 175, then I'm proven, I'll say to myself, okay, proven commodity. My guy, Alexander Gavastek, I think that guy is the guy at 175. But it's a very interesting division. What I like about this division, too, is that there's no politics, thankfully, for once. Everybody that's good at 175 fights on ESPN, which means the fights will not be hard to be made. So let's move forward with it, right?
Oh, man, that's pretty
I know.
Tough. That's pretty tough. Tyson Fury in the news, of course, flying into training camp with Billy Joe Sanders. Billy Joe Sanders, has he got demons that can't be shook? I mean, everybody has demons of some kind. Unfortunately, for some people in the public eye, the demons come to light, and it ends up ruining their lives. Is he on a level keel in your mind?
I think something's off with Billy Joe Saunders. I think it has been for a while when you saw him offering, hookers food for whatever he was trying to do in that car at that time and other things that he's done. In my opinion, long story short, how I feel about it, I don't think Tyson Fury should surround himself with someone like that based off of his own mental issues that he had. Now, he was never really disrespectful towards people. Obviously, they talk trash still in a fight, but I'm talking about like keeping things like nice and cool and tranquil. In terms of not going after people and hookers and all this type of stuff that Billy Joe Saunders has been noted to do. Maybe Tyson Fury wants to be a father-type figure, and he sees a damaged individual in Billy Joe Saunders and tries to, be a mentor to him. But I just don't think you roll with the bad company, man. Like, you look at what Tyson Fury's done. He looks fantastic. He keeps himself in shape. He came off of the best performance of his career. He got off the mat like The Undertaker against one of the most dangerous punchers in boxing history. I don't think you should surround yourself with bad company, So, for Billy Joe Saunders, I don't like the guy. Whether it's failing drug testing and messing with people and just being disrespectful, he's like a clown. He's like a little kid.
Tyson Fury, of course, in shape. I'm looking at a picture of Tyson Fury and Billy Joe Saunders getting off a chopper somewhere in Europe, and I'm looking. This is sort of funny, and I got to say this: Tyson Fury reminds me of the Three Stooges because he's wearing these golf attire, and of course, looks like the Three Stooges golfing here. The three guys standing side by side, but man, he is just so slim. He's wearing
he really is.
He is yikes.
Yeah. He looks fantastic, and a lot of people are bummed about, the next guy he's facing on ESPN in a couple weeks. It is what it is. Hopefully he'll face Deontay Wilder, one of these top guys again. And we're just going to get a better version of him. I think if we do, he's evolving into someone that's, fitness obsessed and living a positive life. Like, he went from one extreme to the other. And I think that's the longer, I hate to wait for it. I wish we had Wilder next. Yes, guys. I don't like the Mr. Positive Tower thinking guy over here right now. But at the end of the day, the longer that Fury could do this, the better version of Fury we're going to get, which means that eventually when he faces one of these guys, we're going to get a very good Tyson Fury. I think it's motivating. I love the guy. I can listen to him talk all day. Honestly.
Tyson Fury just 6 weeks away, of course, from that Las Vegas fight at the MGM Grand where he takes on the undefeated Tom Schwartz. Now, Tom Schwartz, the guy. Is that Tom Schwartz from Portland, Oregon?
I don't know if he's
No, it's Tom Schwartz from Germany. What I'm trying to say is it might as well be Tom Schwartz of Portland, Oregon. That's the point I'm trying to make here, okay? In other words,
absolutely.
This guy's lunch meat. We're talking about another mark.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's a good way to showcase, Tyson Fury on ESPN, because if you look at that personality, to the people that are not knowledgeable about Tyson Fury, when they're watching ESPN, which is all the homes across the nation, really. The biggest sports platform, the worldwide leader in sports. So when they sit down and they hear this man talk, and whether he's trying to be funny or passionate or whatever he's talking about, he's a storyteller, man. And that's what I love about him. So I think that that's a good way to bring him into the homes, and then you make a big push. Then you try to get someone. But then again, now going back to networks and the politics, that's where we have to co-promote because, the other two guys, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, are on separate networks.
Back to middleweight, let's talk about Callum Smith and Canelo Alvarez. Both those guys are with DAZN and Barry Hearn, so that is a very likely next fight for Canelo, don't you think?
Yeah, they talked about going up to 168 to snag that title from Callum Smith back there to get another one of those grab titles against a guy that, is easy picking. And probably after that, take on Triple G at some point. But, when does that happen? Because Canelo really only fights in May and September. He threw us for a loop in December last year. He threw us a bone on that one DAZN card to launch the whole huge contract signing and get people buzzing, which I think DAZN did a good job last night, by the way. A topic for another day. But, at the end of the day, when does Triple G fit into this equation? I guess they're just going to make this guy turn 137 years old and take him out in the rubber match? Like, what's going on here?
You mentioned DAZN. I watched the fight on my TV, and the clarity varied at different points. It was fuzzy at times, and so I was, they haven't got this down. It's nothing like fights were back in the '90s when you were watching them and they would freeze on the internet, because I told you how they developed all this live video technology for boxing and things like that. The porn industry came up with this stuff, not the sports world, the porn industry.
That's right. They're pioneers of it. And I tell you what, absolutely. Everyone's following suit, bro. Pioneers. To this day, they're still, changing and shaping the culture. But anyway, another subject for another day. But here's what's up with the Zone. I noticed that their television feed isn't that great. For whatever reason, they're streaming to iPads or, phones is better. But of all things I have to say about last night's fight, the one thing I could not stop thinking in my head is that I paid 33 cents for that fight last night. I'm going to tell you why. I subscribed to the Zone and I'm grandfathered in at $9.95
Me too.
for a year. 12 months in a year, 365 calendar days in a year, breaks down to 33 cents a day. Can't complain too much.
So, holy cow. How do I take this on? Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Andy Ruiz would kick the spit out of you, you no-good wetback. Whoa! Whoa!
Wait, he called you a wetback?
No, yeah, as we said. But Andy's a Mexican-American, not me. So anyway, you got that wrong. I'm from, my people are from Puerto Rico. anyway, yeah, not if Andy Ruiz was 139 pounds, though. Not if he was 139, because 139 I don't think he would have made. First of all, he couldn't make 139 at birth.
I tell you what, man, we got to read more of these because they're funny.
No, some of them are worth going into, and some of them are like, man, just like yikes.
You got to forward these. You got to forward these to me because I get so much entertainment. by reading some of these.
I don't like being abused to an extent, but that's the way it goes sometimes when you're on the radio. Now, what's happening as far as this upcoming week's concerned? What's going to be coming up on TV this week?
We got Miguel Burchelt versus Francisco Vargas in a rematch on ESPN. Miguel won the first fight. Should be a good one. They're fighting down at the junior welterweight division. Manny Navarrete again versus Isaac Dogbe coming up. That's a good one. That's next weekend. That came up fast on me. And looking forward to May 18th where we got Wilder and Brazil on Showtime. Actually, Showtime. Hello, remember them?
Yeah.
They're showing up. They're showing up and actually giving us something. And I like the story behind Wilder and Brazil. If you guys haven't, been in the loop about it, check it out on YouTube. These guys talk so much trash towards each other. There's legitimate hate here. And what I like about that is that Wilder brings a lot of power, so therefore you should get some fireworks.
Emmanuel Navarrete is the opponent, the current WBO 122-pound champion. I believe he is going to take out Isaac Dogbo this time, and he's really going to step it up and stop him with the 10th or 11th round. He had him, he had him in a position where he could have went for it the last time. He didn't go for it. I think this time the confidence is there, and I think this kid is like the combination of Pernell Whitaker and Julio Cesar Chavez put together. I'm talking about Emmanuel Navarrete, 26-1 out of Mexico. You are tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. More with Johnny Sig after the break.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Where do you want to go on a vacation or honeymoon? The Caribbean, Europe, Hawaii, Mexico? How about Disney or a cruise? At Superior Cruise and Travel, we've got you covered. We'll assign you your own travel concierge. They'll help you design a custom vacation plan that you can't find online. And the service is completely free. You can't compare the value of this to any other online travel company. We can help you plan a custom vacation anywhere in the world. We even offer payment plans with no credit card required. Now you pay off your vacation on your time schedule. Call now and mention the promo code RADIO and save up to $500. Book your custom trip. Call Superior Cruise and Travel now and talk to one of the highest rated travel agencies in the country with a 5-star A+ online rating.
800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. That's 800-570-9631.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
Check out this tune, baby. On the soul side of town, brand new Tower of Power LP, 50 years in the making, 50 years of funk. Check them out, towerofpower.com. Used to be bumpcity.com. It was cooler when it was bumpcity.com, but they changed it to towerofpower.com. You are tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Our ace, Johnny Sig, is on the line from Las Vegas. Carlos Takem, of course, 36-5, going to take on the aforementioned Oleg Usyk, 16 and zip, 20-12 KOs. People think we're putting too much stock here. That's the sort of vibe I'm getting. We put too much stock in Usyk, and people think that I'm really going overboard with Mr. Vasyl Lomachenko by saying I think pound for pound he might be the best right now. I mean, at 135 or at 130, I think nobody can beat him. Not a chance.
Absolutely. I mean, the only person that really has a chance right now is Mikey Garcia, even though Garcia did not look good against Earl Spence. You look at other guys, Devin Haney, Richard Comey, there's guys there, right? Teofimo Lopez, who we mentioned earlier, would be good. I think Teofimo, as good as I think Teofimo is, he needs a little bit more experience. But the problem with Lomachenko is that he's maxed out at 135. He can go back down to 130. There's some guys there, Gervonta Davis, people like that. He's not going to go up to 140. But anyone that thinks that we need to pump the brakes on Usyk, tune in May 25th. When he takes on Carlos Takam, who Carlos is a very, very capable man, strong fighter. You know, of course, best known for getting stopped by Anthony Joshua. But it's one heck of a test. His first fight, he's taking on a guy that's had world-class experience at Takam. So tune in May 25th, Texas back.
Okay. Real quick, Mikey Garcia took the money from Al Haymon and took like 2 years off of boxing. Then he took it easy in his big test as far as a fighter's concerned. You think the money got to him?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, man. Straight up, what's happening on the YouTube page?
Hey, check this out, Ring Talk. Search us, Ring Talk Worldwide, archive shows, bonus content, and more.
Straight up, that is Johnny Sig. My name is Pedro Fernandez. I thank you so much for tuning in to the longest-running fight show in history, Ring Talk Live Worldwide, a production of the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and Scott Cuddy.